Hello, everyone. I'm Martinez. My name is Itzell, and it's Mass Monday. So, we will be doing these two masks today, and just talking about let me see how long this one goes. 10 to 20 minutes, and this one I forget. 15 to 20. Just like how all of us handle negativity. Well, I'll tell you how I handle it, and then you tell me how you handle it. Ooh, if I can get it. So, yeah. We'll start talking after I get this on my face. So, how have you been? Did you have a nice weekend? I can't complain. I'm excited when this is coming out, because this is coming out in July. I'm filming it in June, end of June. By then, all of y'all have already, participated on my poll, and then we'll be having a new Favorites Friday series. So, and I was asking for you guys' suggestions. As of right now, when I'm filming this, we had one. So there will be 4 options, 3 that I came up with, and 1 that's suggested, unless we get more. So that should be fun, seeing, which series everybody would like to see on Favorites Friday. And then that way, like, going based off, first, second, third, when one series ends, I can just start the other one. So that's nice. Okay. Now that my face is on, and I think it's as good as it's gonna get. It's all, I don't always get these perfect. Sometimes it comes close. If you watch enough of my videos, it comes really close. And other times, not so much. But at least you can see my eyeballs. So, like, I've had different scenarios of negativity in my life, and I'm just gonna go with, how I handle it. And I guess, not just how I handle it, but how I handle it at the time. And I don't know, maybe we can talk about, what I could have done differently or whatnot. Like, so this was, I believe I was 20. I was 20 years old, and I was living alone with my twins. And if you've seen my videos, you know my twins were born prematurely, so they needed in-home therapies. They needed occupational, they needed physical, and they needed speech. So we had a speech therapist, and she was really concerned about their weight gain. And I was like, just letting her know what the doctor had said at their previous doctor's appointment, about their weight and how they're gaining weight and they're doing really well and they're, like, healthy and all this. And her response to that is, for anorexic babies. Oh, I lost it. Because I don't care who you are, you don't say stuff like that to anybody. and you're not even talking about like you're concerned about like a teenager or something. You're talking about a baby. So yeah, no. Yeah. Maybe I could have handled it better, but the way I handled it at the time, because I was young and I had a bad temper. I mean, I still do, but I try to keep it under control. I screamed at her. I was like, "Get out of my apartment. Get out of my home now. Get out." And I'm pretty sure I told her she was fired. I don't know. But she's like, "I can't leave until you sign this paper that, you're letting me go." So I signed it, and I kept until she was out. Like, I wasn't pushing her or anything, but I was like following out, like, "Get out," like rushing her out of my door because I was livid. And you let me know, either the age you are now or the age you were when you had children, how you would have handled it. Because I think now I would have still been upset. No, yes, I still would have fired the person, but I don't think I would have been yelling and screaming. I would have just kind of rolled my eyes like, "Really? You just said that?" And, be more calm, but still probably the same amount of angry. And after she left and I calmed down a bit, like the same day, I called the case manager and let her know what happened. And she, of course, lied and said it was a misunderstanding and she didn't say that. But I come to find out, like maybe a year later or less than that, from their new speech therapist, that she was getting a lot of that lady's old clients. I'm like, I'm not surprised. She probably was saying horrific things to those people as well. I understand, not having a filter and being blunt, but you don't talk about anyone's children in that kind of way. Like, that's just not okay. And you would think this is coming from someone that doesn't have kids. No, she had 5. So it's just like, you really don't know that? How do you not know that? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Because a lot of times when people say ignorant things, you expect them from someone that doesn't have children. When it's having to do with children, parenting, and all of that. So, yeah. Let's see. The next time with dealing with negativity. This was fun. As you know, if you've been watching my shorts, if you watch my shorts, and I don't know if I talked about it that much in my videos, you'll hear about it later on in the year once we start getting closer to that time. But I run an event for my county for getting children sponsored for Christmas, and not just children. We also started doing the elderly as well. And I was just, it was last year. It was 2020, 2022. Oh, where's my head at? No, it was not 2020. It was 2022. But yeah, last year. And I was just like, I would share out my group and I let people know that it's happening. Like right now, as I'm like looking at my group, I believe I'm sitting at 4,000 members. But when I started everything, I was like 700. So we've grown a lot since then. And if I'm not mistaken, because it's been a very long time, this will be our 6th year doing this event. So last year was our 5th. For the children and for the elderly, it was our 3rd year because I didn't start doing them together. I started out with the children and then went from there and seeing like what people respond to. I don't mind my toddler in the background. She woke up early and wants all the attention. So I shared it in a group, and this woman, she had asked, because it's a Christmas event, she asked if I do anything for Hanukkah, and I let her know that I don't, that she's still welcome to participate, to have someone nominate her child, and I left it at that. And someone else that wasn't even a part of our conversation was basically telling me that I was a horrible person because I'm excluding all the Jewish children and all this stuff. And I laughed to myself because I've been doing this for a long time, and I always get people that think I'm doing it wrong and think they know the right way to do it, but they don't do anything similar. So, yeah. And I let this person know that I'm not Jewish. I don't know anything about the religion, and I'm not going to all of a sudden start studying and figuring all that out and start a new event for Christmas. I already have one, and it's enough. It's a lot to deal with. Because we start in October. We don't finish until pretty much Christmas. Because even though I pushed, receiving the gifts 2 weeks, pushed it back, because before it was like a week before Christmas, but like, nah, that was too hectic. So I pushed it back, so it's 2 weeks before Christmas when everybody should receive their gifts. But there's always those people that are huge procrastinators, so they're getting their shit to their family like on Christmas Eve. So until like from October all the way through the end of December, I'm busy. I'm trying to make sure all of this stuff gets done. And then on top of that, you want me to throw in Hanukkah that I'm not even familiar with? Yeah, I don't think so. So I let him know. Well, I didn't even know if it was like a man or a woman, because it was one of those names that could go either way. I think it was like Lee or something. So I didn't know if it was a man or a woman. I assumed it was a man, but I don't know. It could have been a woman. So anyways, I let that person know, you know what? I was like, if you feel so strongly about this, you can do the Hanukkah event, and if you want, I'll promote it for you. I'll share it out. I'll let people know that you're doing it. And they didn't respond, and I blocked them because it was ridiculous. Oh, and it was someone that was in my group, because the group I shared in was not my group that I do my event through. So it was different, and it was kind of like, really, dude? Like, if you're gonna say something about how someone is doing something, back it up. If you think you can do it better, then do it better. Like, don't just like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, and then like not do anything. Like, no. If you're gonna talk about change, then do change. Don't just spout all this stuff about what other people should do differently, and you're not gonna do nothing, just sit on your butt. Like, no. We can't with people like that are full of suggestions but refuse to do anything. No. So if you're wondering how it normally works, I let people know that it's happening, that our Christmas event is coming up. And last year, I think it was last year the first time I did it. Maybe I did it the year before, I can't remember. But I let them know September 1st that, we'll be doing this in the end of October. So that way I don't get anybody, because I do always get somebody. I didn't know. Come on now. It's going to be the 6th year. You didn't know. You've been in the group for 7 years. Like, come on now. So I always get those people. And I always get the people that they show interest, because the way I do it is, I can't remember, because like I've done it so long and I know, but it's just like my little one is just jumbling my mind right now. But so Hold on a second. Alright, so I'm back. So I have like everything you need to do pretty much on a post in my group. So the way I do it is like I divide it up into two parts. Like one part is just like, comment your email. So that way I go and I email them all the information I will need for the Christmas event. And here's the kicker. I list everything in the group and I pin it to the announcements or featured post, however you call it nowadays. So, and anytime I update it, I do the new one and I pin it. So it's pinned in the group. All the information you'll need is right there. So you have all year to gather this information, really. Because we ask for ages, we ask for clothing sizes, we ask for parents' names, addresses, because, and some form of contact information like a phone number, email, something like that. Because we've had situations where we didn't ask for that because the people weren't members and we could reach them, but they deactivate their account before they receive the gifts, or they stop like communicating with us. So I'm like, no, we need a form of communication. We need a number. We need an email. We need something to be able to get a hold of these people. And if we don't have that, if they're not responding for some reason, if we have the address, they can still get their gifts. But we've had some people that were moving during this time. So yeah, that was a little fun trying to navigate that. But so they'll know that we need all these things and then not have it, and then trying to like tell me, oh, I'll get it to you in a couple of days. I'm like, dude, it's already past the deadline. Like, you had 2 weeks, because I give 2 full weeks to get me the information, because like, or no, it's not 2 weeks. It's like 10 days. So my bad. It's not 2 weeks. It's like 10 days, I think. But it's something you knew about since at least September. And I always let them know, here's the information you'll need, and I copy the link, so you click on the link and it takes you straight to all the information. So there's always those people that try to give it to me, past the deadline. And then you're like, well, why can't they do that? Because what I do once I have my finalized list is I write it all down, and leaving out, the addresses, the phone numbers, and stuff like that, and the names of the children. Like, the parents' names are still given, but I give it to this other lady that runs a similar group for helping families for Christmas. And that way, if someone is trying to get sponsored through both groups, we can catch them. Because we had that happen in the past where they were trying to get double the presents, and I think some people ended up losing both sponsorships. Like, and it's always the children, it's never the elderly. So yeah. And like, for my group, I keep it, the other lady doesn't limit hers, but for me, I like to limit it so that way I know everyone, because every year everyone on the list gets sponsored. And the first time we did it, didn't know what the hell I was doing, so it got crazy. We had almost 50 families. It was like 47, 48. We got everyone sponsored, but it was a lot. It was like almost 200 children. It was a lot. So I was like, no, not again. I can't do that much. So try to work out a number where it was doable. So we went with 30. So 30 total, not 30 families and 30 elderly. Like, no, that'd be 60. Like 30 total. So far that's working. And since it's by nomination, like you can't nominate yourself, somebody else has to nominate for you. We have yet to get the full 30, which is nice. And if you're wondering, no, we don't allow you to get help every single year because people were trying to do that. So we limit it to once every 3 years. Because, like, I understand, like, you know, if your situation hasn't changed, you're always gonna need help. But I don't want it to be like some kind of crutch. So, yeah. And like my goal is really, you know, for helping the families that hit hard times. You know, the ones that weren't expecting rent to like double the way it did in the last couple of years. The people, you know, where one of the parents got laid off and they weren't expecting it, and like, you know, just those different kinds of situations. Or how we've had some families where they had to take in children that, you know, weren't theirs. They're on a fixed income because they're older. They're older. Yeah, they're elderly. So yeah, like we get a lot of different situations. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. Oh, I'm gonna remove this since it's been on long enough. And just rub it in the serum. Alright. So, I know I've been on for a long time, and if you watch me, you know, typically my mask Mondays aren't that long. So, the last thing I wanted to talk about, and it was like, it's a funny scenario for me. The last like negative thing that I had to handle was like Saturday. I know, recently. It was someone, you know, as a creator, if you're watching this and you're a creator, you get random comments sometimes that people find your videos, and it's not any of like your regular subscribers. It's someone new to your channel. Sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're not. Well, I got a comment that started out nice. It's one of those, I forget what they call those backhanded comments, backhanded compliments or something like that. Yeah. So they started out with saying, oh, it's great that you shout out channels. And then they went, but the channels that you're shouting out, they don't support you. They don't like, they don't comment, like all this stuff. And I'm just like, I didn't respond. I didn't give a thumbs down or anything like that. I just kind of laughed. I checked. They weren't subscribed either. Not publicly. My number didn't go up. I checked that too. So it was their first comment on my channel. So I deleted it, and I just kind of laughed because, like, if you're gonna spout stuff, if you're gonna run your mouth, do the stuff that you're saying. Be supportive, be liking, be commenting, be a subscriber. You know, if that's what you're upset about, or if that's what you have to say. I thought it was funny. I just removed the comment and just went about my day, and I just kind of laughed it off. Like, really, dude? What was the point of that? Like, you're not gonna make me cry and make me stop or anything like that. So I don't get trolls like that, like trolls that are negative. Like, I like the trolls that are like Dion, like from Dion Loves Makeup, where, you know, you just don't care what other people think and you're funny. Like, yeah. People, I don't understand them sometimes. But anyways, I hope you have a wonderful Monday and a great week. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you liked the video.